Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are building a cottage on Hemford on Bagley with the new items that we got from the event a few weeks ago. I think it's been a few weeks by now. So I was really inspired by the seahorse that comes in the windows. So by the way, the items that we got were a window, an easel, and a door that looks like a bookshelf, so it's like a hidden door. Those were the items I was like the most looking forward to getting, so those are the items that I'm highlighting here. I know we also got some other items like some keys, and I think there was something else, but I don't know if I got through it all. I did want to use, like I was saying, those new windows that I will end up showing you guys where I use them. I also want to say that this house is actually inspired by a couple of houses that I saw on Pinterest. Lately, I've been using Pinterest to really influence my builds, and I think the next one that you'll see here on my channel is also going to be inspired by Pinterest. Obviously, this one isn't exactly as the two that I showed you right now on screen. Hopefully I did put them. It's not exactly the same, but the colors are there, and the roofing I think is quite similar. So I really wanted to include a chimney over on this side. I don't think this was something that was in the Pinterest houses, but I wanted to include one just because I felt like we had a lot of like blank space over on that wall with not a lot of interest. So if we include a chimney, it adds a little bit more detail. I also want to say that I used a lot of debug on this build, so you'll see me use that here in this house. The houses that I saw on Pinterest had a lot of like greenery in the balconies, so I wanted to keep that in mind as I was building this house. And obviously you can achieve that by using debug and making it look a little bit more lush. So for the doors, I was really struggling to find one that I really liked. I found this one from Realm of Magic, and I thought I wanted to put it upstairs, but I couldn't find one that matched the vibe for downstairs. So I ended up just putting it downstairs instead. And upstairs I ended up changing it, so I'll show you right here. I used the white one, and upstairs I used the one from Cottage Living in a white tone as well. I really like this color combo of like brown and white, and the separation between the floors really helps that accentuate it a little bit more. I really wanted to like the little, oh my god, seahorses to influence the build on the outside and the inside, but I will say that the inside ends up looking a little bit more like a cottage rather than like it being inspired by the seahorses. I do keep it in mind. You'll see with the wallpapers that I use at the especially in the second floor, but on the first floor I really struggled to really do that, and I don't think I had that in the back of my mind when I was building. I think I just wanted to make something that was like cozy and cottagey like, so that's what you're gonna see here in this house. As you can see, I did start putting a lot of greenery throughout the house, which already makes it look 1,000 times better. Like, it's so lush. I love it. And again, I started to use like these dark browns in some of my builds recently, and I really like the way this looks. I think it just looks like a lot richer. I don't usually go for these types of browns. I usually go for lighter browns, so I really like that I'm starting to use other colors in my builds. I also wanted to include a chimney in this house because obviously I did build one outside, so I wanted to keep that consistency inside as well. I decided to use this wallpaper from Cottage Living. I just think it's so pretty. Like, you can see the texture of it. But as you can see here, I'm realizing that the windows don't really go with this wallpaper. So I decided to use a different one for the stairs area and the upstairs like resting place in here, just because it wasn't really gonna match. I did use like a greenish color that it would match with the one from Cottage Living. So we have our little entryway area, which ends up looking super cute, honestly. I'm using this flooring throughout the house that is from Life and Death. And in the entryway, I decided to use a little rug from the Refined Living Room kit. I decided to use this painting, which is one of my favorites, if not my favorite, from Lovestruck. I just really love this girl with the flowers. The colors in this painting are just beautiful. Also, the color story throughout this house is a little funky, so I'm sorry if it looks weird. I decided to use these curtains in like this dark aqua blue, and I don't use the same curtains throughout the rest of the house. I don't know, you guys, I feel like it's more, well, in houses that I've been to when I was growing up, like people would have all sorts of different curtains in different types of rooms. And so I kept that in mind as I was building this house. Also, I wanted to create some separation because back in the day, I don't think there were as many like open concept spaces or houses in general. So I wanted to keep that vibe of like an antique house with like different little rooms for a specific use. And so as we step in from the entryway area, we're going to step into our dining room where we have a little table with a few chairs. I believe this table is from Cottage Living and the chairs are from the Cozy Kitsch kit. And this is what I was talking about, using different curtains. So I decided to use these that are actually from Base Game, and I don't think they look that bad. I feel like they look pretty realistic to what some people have in their houses. I also decided to use one of my other favorite paintings from Lovestruck, the one with like all the little people, like the paintings in there. So I put that in there. In the living room, I'm using other curtains from Base Game, which look a little bit more fancy and a little bit more different. I also decided to give him a chess table. I don't know what vibe I've been into lately, but I feel like the houses that I've been building are for grandparents. That's what I was thinking when I was building this house. And you'll see maybe in my next build that it's also a house for a grandparent, but we'll see. So yeah, that's the vibe I was going for in this house. If you guys like this sort of video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, so you can see more content from my channel. So as we step into the living room, like I said, I did put a little chess table, but then I don't know, I was trying to figure out what sofa to use and what rug to use, and I was really struggling because all of the sofas were either too modern or too vintage, and they were just not the vibe that I was looking for in this house. As you can see, I was really trying to use the one from the Book Nook kit, and I ended up switching it to this one from Base Game, which honestly has become one of my favorite couches from Base Game, just because of how versatile it is and how realistic this is for somebody to have in their house. And then I was looking for a little bookshelf. I wanted something thin, and again, going back to Base Game, to the thinnest bookcase you can imagine. I guess this house has a lot of Base Game. I don't usually go for Base Game stuff, but these curtains, this sofa, and this bookshelf as well. So that's pretty cool. So this is what our living room is looking like. I did want to put like a little piece of art in front of the chimney or of the fireplace, and in order to do that you have to break the wall, so that's what I was doing here. Otherwise the painting will go to the wall behind it. So I ended up putting one from Life and Death. And then in here, I just wanted to put a little bit of more chairs. And so I put this one from Cottage Living and this really high, tall table from Businesses and Hobbies. It's one of my favorite tables because it fits in every little corner of every house. And it's like at a nice height too. So I put it here next to the Cottage Living chair. Also from the Basement Treasures, I got this like standing lamp, and apparently I think it flickers in like live, or what do you call it, in live mode. Yeah, that's what they call it. Okay, as we step into the kitchen, I decided to use a brick from Cottage Living and a fridge and countertops that are also from Cottage Living. I really like this kitchen. I like the corner windows. I think they look awesome. I think it's like a great way to see what's going on outside, and I'll show you guys what I did out there as well once we finish with everything. I think it's pretty nice and pretty neat. It's definitely for somebody who likes to live out in the field, and I think I put some chickens here if I recall correctly, so I'll show you guys what that looks like at the end. We don't have a lot of space in this kitchen, just enough for what we actually need. I also used the stove from Cottage Living, and I was really picturing a cluttered kitchen in this house. Again, this is giving me the same vibe of like the fairy house that I built a couple of weeks ago. If you guys have not seen that, I built a fairy house without Enchanted by Nature. So if you guys don't have Enchanted by Nature, you can see how I did that. And this cluttered kitchen is giving me the same vibe of that house. So I've been on a roll of like building houses for grandparents and like stuff like that and a cottagey vibe. So yeah, maybe I should give my grandparents a call. You guys should too. So yeah, this is what our kitchen is looking like. I put a few more items here on the wall as you exit to the outside. And then I also put a little half bath in this house downstairs. So I did that off screen. And it's just a very simple bathroom, nothing crazy. I then broke down the walls under the stairs and put a little seat in there with some books. I actually don't know if this is functional, but in real life, I feel like it would be cute if like you can sneak in there and read a book or something. It's giving Harry Potter. So yeah, that's what I decided to put in here with some items from the Book Nook kit and this little rug that I believe is from high school years. I put a couple of frames from Realm of Magic, and then I remembered to put a little curtain in the restroom. In the stairwell area, I put a couple more curtains, and I was playing around with which ones I wanted to use. I went back to the ones from base game because I was really struggling with the other ones. And so that's our downstairs area, you guys. I think it looks pretty good. So as we head upstairs, this is where I have that door or hidden door with the bookshelf. I decided to use this sofa from the Cozy Kitsch Kit and a few more curtains from Cottage Living. And look at these pretty windows. They just look amazing in here. And I really do wish I would have done more like a beachy vibe with this house, but I kind of forgot when I was downstairs. So maybe I'll build you guys something else that is a little bit more beachy inspired. And then I decided to use these Dream Home Decorator sofas and some rugs from Realm of Magic. I also end up changing this easel for the one that we got from the event, so that's what it looks like there. I did it at the end, so if you do see it in there, I promise you I did change it ultimately to the one from the event. Outside, I just wanted to put a few more items in here. I think I end up removing the rocking chairs just because I feel like they don't necessarily go with the vibe. They are very grandma and grandpa vibes, but I think I just end up removing them if I recall correctly. So as we step into the bedroom, this is honestly a fairly large bedroom. I put a mirror here in the entryway from the Basement Treasures kit. And although we have a full bathroom downstairs, I did want to put another bathroom in the bedroom. I also did the little trick with the high school years side tables and the desk from Businesses and Hobbies to make this little like vanity. And I'm using this beautiful mirror from the Cozy Bistro kit. I did change the windows here a little bit, and I'm using that window with the sorry, I can't talk anymore. With the little fish in the back of the bed, and I'm using this bed that is from For Rent. I think this is one of my favorite beds. I don't use it very often, but it looks very flowy, very free, and so I really like it. Over in the vanity, I am just looking for some more items to put here. I always struggle with clutter, or lately I've been struggling with clutter. Maybe in the back of my mind, I just like wanna build and then figure out the details later, but I can't move on until I figure it out. So that's what I'm doing here and showing you guys what that looks like for me. Over on this side, I just end up putting another fireplace for the continuity of the whole thing. And then I decided to use one side table again from For Rent that matches the bed. And a few more clutter items right here next to the bed. I also use a lamp that I believe is from Base Game. Again, with that vibe of grandma and grandpa. And oh my god, I used that picture already, so I don't know why I'm using it again. I think I just end up putting something else in here. Oh yeah. So this is our bathroom for the house. So this is what the house ended up looking like, you guys. I think it looks amazing. I don't know why this is stopped, but I did give them some chickens in the background. You can't really see them. There is a white picket fence around there. This is our first floor. I think it looks super cool and cozy. Definitely not very coastal. And here we have our second bedroom, or second floor, with all of our details. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.